So yeah, Divya, we can start off.
Okay. So, hi everyone. This is Divya from Biconomy team, and we have Sachin, who's the CTO of Biconomy. So, what is Biconomy first of all? So, Biconomy is a layer infrastructure, which basically our mission is to simplify Web3 experiences both for users and the developers. So, basically, we are working with the meta transactions and relaying your developers and users transaction. So there are multiple ways you can use meta transactions. First of all, the simplest one, you can pay for your users transaction. Second of all, we have recently launched our next product, which is forward. So what forward does is, when a user transferring his assets like USDT, he can by economy forward will cut the fees in that USDT only, and user will, wherever he wants to transfer, the amount gets credited without keeping ether. So that's the main part. I mean, you don't have to spend ether in your gas fees. So whatever stable currency you have, you can just transfer it, and fees will be cut down from that itself only. And recently, we found out that there is issue between layer 1 and layer 2 exits, because if you exit from layer 2, it takes like 40-50 minutes. So yeah, Biconomy is working on that also. So yeah, basically, these three are the major use case which Biconomy is working on. And the meta transaction is basically nothing, but it's like someone else is paying for your transaction, right? So it's like there is a DApp and you are a developer, and you want user interactions, user coming to your platform and use your platform without any problem and without keeping any ether, because normally normal person, as as web 2 developers and web 2 users do not have much knowledge about crypto. So they, you want them to use your platform, so that's why you integrate meta transaction, and so that user don't have to keep any ether and interact with any kind of cryptocurrency to use your platform. So that's how you are easing out this experience for users. So yeah, I have one demo to show you. Let me show you.
Yeah, I have just few things to add here.
Mhm.
So when it comes to meta transaction, it's not just about paying gas fees on behalf of your users. It's about abstracting the whole blockchain complexities away from them.
Mhm.
So if you have used any DApp before, so I'm sure you must be knowing about you have to take these financial decisions like what gas price I need to set to get my transaction through in the next block. And even if you decide to set a gas price, okay, now I can pay up to this much, and then the gas prices spikes up in the market, then you eventually end up resubmitting that transaction again with a higher gas price. So it's not a very user friendly experience for the user also. So if you are imagining a mass adoption of blockchain among normal users who don't know about blockchain, then you have to abstract away all these complexities from the end user. And that's where this meta transaction concept comes, and it's helping in easing that user experience when it comes to using blockchain based applications. Yeah,
Cool, cool. Thanks,
go
Achin.
ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, this is a demo app which we generally show to our clients. I mean, how this meta transaction, easing out this whole user experience. So as you can see, guys, I don't have any ether. So I'm trying to make a transaction onto the blockchain. Uh, let's So on MetaMask, there will be a message that my nonce is one and my from address. Oh, hello, hello,
Yeah, yeah.
Hello,
We can hear you.
we can hear you.
hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Now you can hear me?
Like your voice is little breaking off, Divya.
Uh, Still?
No.
Okay. Okay, sorry, my internet went off. Sorry. Yeah. So now you can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, yeah. So here I'm trying to send a normal message to my smart contract. It's a quotes contract. So here on MetaMask is showing me my nonce is one, my from address is this, from where I'm sending the transaction. You can add more params in that. So what it does actually, we are signing a transaction. So user is signing a transaction, and he can clearly see what is the message he's trying to send. So I mean it becomes quite clear to users. So this is I think, yeah, it's EIP 712 signature type, and there is another one is personal signature, where every message comes in hexa format, so it's not quite readable format. So EIP 712 signature is quite popular these days. So yeah, I'm sending this transaction. Let's see. So my transaction is going. Yeah. So my transaction is submitted, and okay, if you want to see the transaction hash on Coven. Hmm. So this is my transaction, and to this contract, and from address is not my contract from which I have signed. My address was this 03 DC something, and this is actually Biconomy's relay. So what is happening behind the scene is, I don't have any ether, user don't have any ether, and he can just sign this message. Then the Mexa SDK, the SDK we have, Biconomy's SDK, will intercept this transaction and send it via Biconomy's relay, and Biconomy's relay will pay the gas fees. This is my relay, and this is the transaction fee, my relay rate. So this is the basic use case, I mean demo for this. Sachin, you want to add anything?
Mm, no, no, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's. I mean, do you guys have any question before moving forward?
In this relay, the user wasn't charged anything, right? In any token or anything. This was just a
No.
simple meta transaction.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Can you show the Explorer again?
Mm-hmm.
Can you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here, if you, yeah, as you correctly mentioned, this is the gasless, version of meta transaction where relays are paying the gas fees, and neither user is being charged right away, nor the developer. Uh, but if you see practically, the gasless transaction are not, practically makes sense, doesn't make sense on Ethereum, because no one is ready to sponsor that much amount of gas fees. So uh, in terms of practicality, gasless transaction do make sense on layer 2, because where the transaction gas is very cheap, and we are seeing like most of our clients using this gasless transaction on Matic network and XTI,
Mm-hmm.
where they are able to sponsor those gas fees. And as Divya mentioned, we have another product called Forward, that is especially designed for layer one Ethereum only, where you don't have to sponsor your end users gas fee, but end users can pay the gas fees themselves, but in stable coins. So that is making a bit easy for them. They don't have to acquire ether to do the transaction, and at the same time, if they have, even if they have ether, they can actually save on their ether investment. Yeah, as you must have seen, the ether prices are rising. So instead of wasting your ether in the gas fees, you can actually save them, and just pay the gas fees in stable coins. And by doing that, you can actually it can actually make your accounting also easy. If you just pay in stable coin. So like most people have to do, in some countries, most people have to do taxes on their profits which they earn by crypto investment. So it's easy for them also, if they are able to pay gas fees in stable coin. It's easy for them to figure out like how much they spent on gas and other things. So yeah, that's the advantage of the forward.
So what is happening in the background when we are paying with stable coin? So are we like swapping stable coin for ether?
Yeah, so that's the swapping stable coin to ether. That's the thing which we are worrying about. We need to worry about because Biconomy relayers are paying the gas fees in ether upfront, and then we, even though we get the stable coin back, even though we get the gas fees in stable coin back, we need to make sure we are not losing on on the conversion, or if we do conversion later or do it right now. So that's the risk we need to hedge on our side. But right now, if you are asking about what we are doing, so we are, yeah, right now we are converting that stable coin to ether right away using the Binance APIs right now, because those are cheap. If you do it on decentralized exchanges, you would end up paying a higher fees for swapping those stable coin back to ether. So right now, that's the most feasible option for us. uh,
Uh, can you explain how is on Binance it is cheaper than other decentralized exchanges? Because a gas fees is on the swapping, right?
So Binance
And
is a centralized exchange. So even if you just swap one currency with another, they don't actually swap it on blockchain. They just do the accounting on their side. And when you want to withdraw that money from the Binance account to some other address on blockchain, that's when they do the actual transaction. You got that?
yes. I
So
actually
Sachin,
didn't know that Binance was centralized.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
so Sachin, you're effectively doing some sort of an arbitrage, right? When the USDT hits your relayers accounts, that's when you probably are using the USDT in your Binance and converting it to ETH at that point of time. But at some point of time, you have to send the USDT from your relayers account to Binance. Am I right? Or is that process automated as well?
So that is also automated. We are not accepting the stable currency in relayer accounts directly. So the end user would end up sending that stable coin to our Binance account only.
Oh, okay, that's pretty smart. Okay.
So like doesn't that increase the like transaction time?
No, no, no. So see, let's say you are doing a swap on Uniswap, okay, and you are using forward on top of Uniswap. So what will happen is, since it will be a type of meta transaction, you will just click swap on Uniswap. You will be provided with a signature. You will sign the signature and send the transaction to Biconomy. What Biconomy will do is, it will broadcast the transaction to the blockchain, and instead of directly going to the Uniswap contract, it will go through the forward contract which we have, and that forward contract will just execute the transaction on Uniswap. And after the transaction is executed, it will deduct the amount of USDT from the end user account, like based on whatever gas was used in that transaction. And uh, the forward contract has the address on which the end user will send the USDT, and that's our Binance address. So the transaction will happen, and the confirmation time is just same, like whatever it takes to get included in the next block. It doesn't add any latency to the transaction confirmation. It's just a normal blockchain transaction which we have relayed, and based on the gas prices, it will just get confirmed.
Okay,
Um,
got it.
Another question that hits my mind is how do you exactly calculate the amount of gas that it will take the user? Because it's a non-deterministic value, the exact gas units that it will consume.
Yeah, that's a good question. So whatever task we are executing, like whatever transaction we are forwarding from our forward contract, that you can actually measure using Solidity. you can just use the gas left operation, and you can find out within the transaction that how much gas was spent. Now we are doing a lot more than just forwarding the transaction. We are calculating like how much gas was there, how much gas we are going the end user is going to spend in transferring those stable coin back to our address. So those gas also we need to consider. And then there are the gas is the calculation are there for signature verification also on chain. So some gas, for example, how much gas it's going to take to transfer the USDT to our address. That gas overhead, we can't use gas left operation on chain, because that's when we need that figure, how much gas was used. So that amount of overhead we are pre-calculating, like how much overhead it is to transfer a USDT, and how much overhead it is to transfer a DAI token. So those, like, different tokens have different overhead, and that we are pre-calculating, and that we are setting in the smart contracts. And when it comes to calculating how much gas was used, we just take gas left operation, find out how much gas was used in the operation, whatever your smart contract is doing. Then we add the transfer overhead based on the token in which you want to pay the gas, and then whatever the amount comes, then we multiply it with the gas price in the token. Now, since we are charging in USDT, we need to find out how much is the gas price in USDT instead of ether. So that calculation happens, and based on the final figure, we will know like how much USDT we need to transfer from user account to our account.
Okay.
Nice. Any other question? Anybody?
So I had one question. So let's say that our meta transaction that the user sent gets reverted. So like in normal case, you just the wallet would just show you that your transaction had been reverted. But in this case, would your proxy contract send information back to the wallet that okay, this transaction was reverted?
I actually didn't get your question. You were speaking like too fast.
So what I was saying was like in a normal transaction, let's say that a transaction reverts due to some reason. Okay. So that is immediately reflected on like the wallet, right? But in this case, if I'm sending it through Biconomy, is it also reflected to the end user in case the transaction gets reverted?
Yeah.
You
You get the same error message, what your smart contract must be throwing. So yeah, you get to see the same error message.
I see. Thanks.
Yeah, one thing I just like to mention is like this forward thing is like pretty cool because one like there I remember a situation where like initially I like when I was doing a transaction, like I spent all my ether and all I had was stablecoin, right? And then the transaction was not doing through. I didn't even know that I completely then forgot like that you need gas also. So then I had to transfer ETH for gas into my account, and for transferring that ether which used gas, I had to spend gas. So that was
Yeah, see,
very annoying.
even for the crypto savvy people, it's not easy to do transaction on Ethereum or other blockchains. So even if we skip the non crypto savvy people, even for the native peoples, it's not very easy. And that's what we are doing, is to make it really for people to interact with the blockchain actually. And
Yeah.
once you remove that friction, then you can actually think about other problems. You can think about building some cool stuff on the blockchain that is actually usable.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, like, just a question, like, what is the incentive for relayers here? Like,
So
how?
yeah, that's a good question. So right now, as I mentioned, gasless transaction are not doesn't make sense on layer 1. So what on layer 2 we are doing is since the gas fees is very cheap, we are sponsoring the gas, but we are charging the DAP with a monthly subscription fees. That's our current
Okay.
model. And for
Okay.
the forward, where the end user is paying the gas, we are taking a margin on top of that. So if we are paying, let's say, $1 fees from our relayers, we are charging stable coin worth $1.1, something like that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, is this the subscription, is the subscription fee constant?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, what happened when, like, the price of it just went from, like, the rise of it, like that, the time, I think in October and November. So,
So
what did you guys do with?
on layer one, the DApp developer has to pay us the subscription fee plus whatever gas we have paid on behalf of its users.
Yeah.
On layer one, it's like that.
Okay, okay, got it,
Mm.
got it.
On layer two, the gas is already, combined with the subscription fee. So you only have to pay subscription fee.
Okay, okay.
I have
And
one question.
yeah,
So in blockchain, there will be a record of transaction from Biconomy's relay address to the recipient address. There will be no any record of my address to Biconomy's address.
mhm.
Like you have shown in Etherscan, there is the transaction from Biconomy's to the to address. There will is not any mention of your Divya's address.
Correct, correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
won't it
go
have
ahead.
any problem in record keeping?
So the yeah, you pointed out very very genuine point here. So it actually depends on how the DApp is using the code on the blockchain smart contract. So of course, like if your logic, it depends on the user address, you can always get that with a special method on the contract, that's underscore message sender. That will just return the user address only, even if the transaction is relayed by another address. But when it comes to let's say I want to find out how many transaction I sent to that contract via meta transaction. So to solve that, you can just emit some event from within your smart contract, and using those events from the transaction receipt, you can actually track like what transaction came from which user.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so I was saying earlier, on layer two, the mainnet access is open to all. So if you want to, I mean, mainnet and testnet both are open for everyone. So just go and play around with it. I don't know why my connection is not good. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to this integration part. Let's suppose you want to integrate by economy. Uh, so first of all, I would suggest you to complete your
I can't hear Divya. Am
sorry,
I the
sorry,
only one?
sorry. My internet is causing issue. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me check again. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying, first of all, I suggest you guys to complete your whole application, your smart contracts, your backend, your script, and everything. Then including by economy is like half day task maximum. So yeah, let's suppose I mean, you are done with your contracts and everything. So right now we have two approaches. First one was custom approach to enable native meta transaction in your contracts, but now we are promoting this one 2771. It is made by the community. It's the this contract base relay recipient is already audited and used by many people. So this is created by the community, and Sachin has also contributed in this. So yeah, so you can just go ahead, and I mean it's a good thing to use it. So that's why we didn't have to make our own contract and get it audited. So yeah, we are in our current approach 2771 EIP. This is a simple. Suppose this is your contract and you want to enable meta transaction in this contract. So only thing, you import this base relay recipient and inherit this. Make this constructor, copy this in your contract, nothing else. Make this function, this function is optional. If you want to keep the option open, that if somehow in future a new trusted forwarder or new company comes with better approach of meta transaction, so you can use it, otherwise not needed. And the only thing next is change your message dot sender with this message sender, right? That's the only thing. So simply inherit this, make these two methods, this constructor and these, and replace your message sender. That's all you need to do on your contract side. That's it.
It
And
should
while
be
deploying,
underscore
sorry,
message sender. It should be underscore message sender.
sorry, yeah, I'll change it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay. What was next is mm, mm, okay, base relay recipient. Okay, let's move to, yeah, while deploying this contract, you need to pass on this trusted forwarder address, which is already deployed by Biconomy, right? So you can just copy the address from this portal. I'll share this link with you later on. Okay, my net is causing issue, I don't know why. Okay, so your contracts are done. Your trusted forwarder address you will get from this Biconomy doc. Just deploy your contract, and now comes the dashboard part. Just go to dashboard, log in, and just create your DApp here. Whatever your DApp name is, choose your network, whatever it is, and like suppose I have already created this stiff money by Binance testnet DApp, so you can just create it. Then go to this DApp, add your contract under this, your address, your ABI, your, and because we are using the trusted forwarder approach, which is EIP 2771, you have to choose this one and add your smart contract. That's it. And so yeah, create DApp, add smart contract, and last, whatever method you want to enable your meta transaction in, just register that method here. That's it. That's all you need to do to on the dashboard right now. Now comes the client side part. Client side part is also very easy. So yeah, import the Biconomy Mexa SDK, initialize Biconomy. Yeah, so this API key you will get from dashboard from here. This API key, right? So you just need this API key to interact with Biconomy. So yeah, Biconomy, initialize Biconomy and pass Biconomy inside this Web3 constructor to initialize Web3. Now that's it. I mean, yeah, one more thing. This under this Biconomy ready event, initialize your contract. That's the only thing. Yeah, after this, use your Web3 object normally as you were using it. So there is no other change in your method calling. So everything will be same as before. So that's three steps you have to do in this client side script. These three basically. So yeah, that's it. So Biconomy SDK, once you when you send this request using Web3, you call your method. So Biconomy SDK will intercept this method, and internally it will take care of everything, and call the Biconomy backend, and select the relayers and send the transaction to you. I mean your blockchain contract. So that's it. Yeah. Any questions?
Do we have to expose our API key? Like I see, this is the front end code, right? So are we not in any danger by exposing our API key?
Not as such, I would say, but if you are concerned about that people will be misusing it, so you can yeah, there was one thing, yeah, in configurations you can add your domain URL to where I mean to which this request will be coming, so you can add this
Yeah, that makes sense.
right. Also, as I mean, some developers they want to sponsor their fees to some extent, like I want to sponsor 1 ETH of gas to the user, otherwise I won't above that user has to pay by themselves. So you can just set your limit, I mean if it's Binance, so it will be BNB and whatever amount, and per DApp or per user or per API, so you can select these multiple features, so there are some additional checks you can add on. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I mean, apart from setting that website restrictions, that like the domain restriction, even though let's say someone gets your API key and you have not set up the domain restriction, so the only meta transaction he would be able to do with your API key is on your this registered contract only.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
And that's your contract. So if people are doing transaction on your contract, then it's good for your application, right?
Yeah. And yeah, one more thing, there is view stat section also. I don't know if I've done any transaction. So there will be total fee in the USD Biconomy has paid for you, total transactions, transaction history you can see here. Uh,
Maybe for Binance it's not loading. Try
hmm,
another tab.
maybe. Oh, sorry. I don't think I've done much transaction from this account. I need to check. Sorry. Hmm. Okay, I think you can show it later. I think your account will have much more transaction than mine. Okay, yeah. One more thing I wanted to add: the people who are building on Matic, there is one more thing, uh, actually to help people, help the developers. So if whatever network you select, like Matic mainnet, so there is a checkbox here. So whatever ERC20 contracts are supported by Matic will be added by default to this DApp. Yeah, by mistake I created two. But okay. Yeah, so these all contracts are supported by Matic. So yeah, these will be by default will be added to your uh, DApp. Mhm. Okay, time for questions.
I think Divya, can you show a live demo? Uh, also?
I already showed now this one.
Oh, this one, yeah. Okay, how does it work with like something like other than like something like Portis or something? How if they're using Portis or something, how will that work?
So we only need the provider object. We don't. I mean, Biconomy does not care about what wallet you are using.
Okay,
As long as we are getting the provider object, it doesn't matter to us.
So in case of
makes sense.
Portis, you will just pass portis.provider to Biconomy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Also, one thing I just wanted, maybe if we could cover. So in terms of meta transactions, there's also this open GSN, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like how is that different from Biconomy? What are the differences there? Something maybe you can mention about that.
Yeah. So Sachin, you want to take this forward?
Yeah. So GSN is actually I mean they are also trying to solve this problem, but in a different way. So they are trying to solve it in a decentralized way where they have set up some smart contracts, and there you can actually become a relayer in the GSN network, and you have to set up the relayer code on your side. You have to make sure that ether the relayers have enough ethers to pay for the transaction fees, and they have this concept of paymaster contract also. Let's say I am a DApp and I want to use meta transaction using GSN. So first of all, I have to make my smart contract meta transaction enabled, and it in the GSN version 2, it's the same way. The way I explained just now. You have to inherit those base relay recipient contract and replace the message sender with underscore message sender method. But apart from that, you have to set up an extra contract on GSN that's called paymaster, that will be responsible for paying the transaction fee back to the relayer, like within the same transaction. So that's how their model work. And I mean, when it comes to integration, so you know we have got many feedback that integrating GSN is a bit hard, and it takes time, and the system is also a bit complex. And so that's where I would say the difference is. One is definitely we are a centralized solution where we are running our relayers, and we are making sure that those relayers have enough ether to pay for the transaction fees, or the native blockchain currency on whatever network your application is. And when it comes to, let's say, stuck transactions, that again we are taking care of that. So you have different pro and cons of like both approaches. If you really care about decentralization from the day one, then yeah, go with GSN. But if you don't care that much, and you care about the developer experience, and you don't want to spend much time also integrating the solution, then you can choose Biconomy. uh, and since they are a non-profitable organization, and few people are working on that project, so you might not get that much support from their side. I mean, that's, I'm not saying just for the sake of saying, that's what I have been hearing as a feedback from our clients. So yeah, I mean, being a company running a relay infrastructure, so it's our responsibility also that our clients do not face any issue, and if anyone is facing, we have to like resolve that. uh, like it's our responsibility to do that. So that's the pro and cons of using a decentralized solution created by a non-profitable company, or versus using a semi-centralized solution running by a company. Yeah. And
Another question. Sorry.
yeah, and going forward, we also have the plans to decentralize it. We also don't want to keep running it in a centralized way. But if when we'll do it in a decentralized way, we'll make sure that there is not a friction even for developers who want to use the solution. And there are like many interesting ways to do it. I mean, it will be like too much for this call, but yeah, those are our plans going ahead.
Hmm.
I was having another question. Is there, I'm not sure if it's there in the documentation or if you covered it, but is there a way for the dApp developer to know or get any variable or any object exposed that shows that this is the amount of USDT that will be deducted in the transaction, in the forward product?
Yes, yes. So from the SDK, you have this method called build transaction. So when you do that and pass all the required parameters, it will send you the estimated cost also, which will be denoted in that particular stable coin. So you will now it's up to the DApp, to show that information to the user, that okay, this is your estimated fees in USDT or in DAI. And then if you proceed, then you will be asked to sign a message. either EIP 712 format message or personal signature. Once you sign that, then only the transaction goes through, and that particular tokens will be deducted.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So we can get the information before the message is signed. So that's what I was looking for here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Wouldn't this effectively allow so in something that I'm building is what I'm looking for is somebody else pays for somebody else's transaction, right? So wouldn't this effectively allow me to have a dual signature where before the X party does their transaction, I can confirm with the Y party that this is the approximate cost that it will take them to make this transaction. Do you approve that they pay this or not? Would that theoretically be possible? I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
So see, that X party is Biconomy here right now, and that Y party is the end user here. Once the end user confirms and provide his signature, then the X party, which is Biconomy relayer, then they relay the transaction and pay the gas fees, right? So if what you're saying is I mean, I didn't get much. I didn't get exactly your question. What you are saying is, even after using Biconomy, someone else should be able to pay the fees.
Right. So what is happening is Biconomy is paying the gas in ETH, and that USDT is going to be deducted from, let's say, the person who signed the transaction, right?
Yeah.
Instead, if I want that USDT to be paid from somebody else's transaction, that's not going to be possible as of now, because by default, the relayer will take the USDT from the signer's account.
Yeah. So right now, that's not possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to the it's up to actually us only, in which way we design the system. But whatever you are saying, technically it's possible. Like if you design your smart contract that way, where the gas fees is coming from, let's say, some other smart contract, where the developer is pre-funding those smart contract with those stable coin. Yeah. Technically possible.
That should technically be possible, right? Okay.
So in the next version of Forward, we will allow the dApp developers to deploy their own version of what I would say is a fee manager, or the approach which they want to use while charging the user. So it will be the end user only in that version 2 also. But how much you want to charge and in what token you want to charge, the dApp would be able to decide in the version 2. So right now we are saying like we accept only stable coins, right? And we are getting those stable coin. But in version 2, you would be able to deploy your own version of fee manager contract on blockchain, connect that fee manager contract to our dashboard, and instead of coming to us, it will come to your account, the dApp account. So dApp will be getting the fees. Now how the dApp pays Biconomy, it's like up to dApp. He could pay us in stable coin, he could pay us in whatever amount we agree upon. But the version 2 would be to for the dApp to be able to customize this fee strategy. So like right now we are charging 1.1x of the gas fees, and it can be customized based on the token address in which you are charging, based on the user address also. If you're you can deploy any strategy on the smart contract that let's say if you are on Uniswap, and let's say you are saying if your address has deposited that much amount of liquidity to Uniswap, you will not be charged the extra amount on the gas. So those sort of strategy you would be able to deploy by yourself in version 2.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
One question, Sachin. So, like, there's this article that we did put out for Etherpunk, right? So, in that, it's mentioned in, like, if you go to bounty details, under the first bounty, it mentions decentralized applications like it's just a use case example. It says decentralized application can onboard new users in seconds by giving a sign up bonus of their own tokens. Users can then start interacting by paying gas using these tokens. What does this like? How is this possible?
So right now with forward, as I said, so only stable coins, are accepted, because we have to manage that risk of, managing stable versus the ether which we are using in our layers. And
Okay.
by paying charging in stable coins, it becomes easy for us, to manage
Okay.
that risk. But as I mentioned, like going forward, if
Okay.
DApp, DApp would be able to accept any tokens, like, because they are the one who will be getting those tokens, not us. And they will be refunding the gas fees to us, so we are like covered, like we have got our gas fees, and you can, allow your users to pay the gas fees in your token also, because you are taking that token, you are managing that risk. So that's how it would be possible. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, folks? Like anything related to gas or anything, like feel free to ask.
Yeah. Guys, Sachin is here, so ask anything you want. You might not get this chance again.
No, no, you can ask me later on Telegram also.
I think it's clear mostly. So Denver, where should I share these links, this integration, the demo codes and everything?
Maybe you can share it. You can share it in the reading list also. Reading, there's a reading channel. You can share it there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll pick it up from there and I'll put it. I'll gather it together also.
Cool, cool. We'll do
Yeah.
that.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So
folks.
someone asked for this Portis interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can show this Portis example also if we have time.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yes, that would help.
Mhm. One second. I need to change my settings here.
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
see.
see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 perfect. So this is another demo, which is hosted here, bookreads.biconomy.io. And here, let me start from beginning. So if I get started, I have an option to, choose my wallet here. So I can choose to log in with Portis also. So I have already logged into Portis, and it will just use the Portis provider now with Biconomy. Let's say you want to, rate this book. I'll just click. So instead of, MetaMask signature, now I am seeing this Portis signature screen. But the concept is same. I'm just getting a signature from the user account,
Mm-hmm.
and user will provide me signature, and the transaction will be sent via Biconomy servers, and the transaction, my dApp will get the transaction hash from the Biconomy's API, and then I'll just use that transaction hash to track for the confirmation. And with like each wallet has their own options. With Portis, you can also use this option, to trust this application. And going forward, it will not ask you to sign the message every time. uh, So if I wanted to, let's say, add this book to my list, so it will just sign on my behalf and it will just send the transaction. Confirmation thing might be causing some problem, but yeah, the transaction is sent. So this is the experience, you will get. Let me reload the page again just to fix that confirmation problem. So yeah, the transaction went through. You can see like these are added. But now using the Portis Trust This app feature, this has actually become a normal web 2 application. Let's say I want to rate this book a 4-star rating. I'll just click on the 4-star rating, and the Portis will sign on my behalf, and it will just send the transaction to Biconomy. That will relay the transaction to blockchain, and the confirmation comes. See?
Nice.
Yeah.
Sachin, I had a question about relays. Like what you are aiming for is like Web3, like users should have on a Web3 application, Web2 experience, right? So, everything like here depends on if the real relayer forwards that transaction. So, what if like if there is a mass adoption of any app, then how is the relayer architecture handling that? Because right now, let's say if there are like 50,000 relayers, and if there are a million users, then how would that go? Like,
Yeah. So that's a good question. Uh, so we have designed this infrastructure to be scalable by default, and you usually have two kinds of scalability, horizontal as well as vertical. So right now we have deployed 2 servers on our side. Each server is running 4 relayers right now. So in total, like 8 servers, 8 relayer addresses are active. And let's say if requests, the number of requests increases on a particular server, so that server will generate more relayer addresses. It will fund them and it will just make them active. So now you will have, let's say, 6 to 8 relayers active to handle more load on that particular server. So that's what you call vertical scalability, where you are not adding extra servers, but each individual server is also auto scalable vertically based on the traffic. So that's what is already there. But even a single server has a threshold, up to which it can scale vertically. So in that scenario, we can just spin up more servers near to them, and the load will be distributed among those. So that's how we have planned to handle that much traffic. But initially, as I mentioned, right now we are centralized, and we have plans going forward to decentralize this. So when we decentralize this, other people would be able to tap into this relayer infrastructure network. They would be able to run their own relayers. So one example would be, it could look something like, let's say you have some ether. There is there's, let's say, a relayer application on Play Store. You just download that application, connect your Ethereum address to that application, and provide some ether. So that's like you are becoming a relayer on that particular network. So now whenever the requests come, the network can route that transaction to your mobile phone. Your mobile phone will just handle the transaction, sign that raw transaction with your private key, and then broadcast to the Ethereum network. So that way, you can actually scale to handle like millions of requests if more people are getting involved in this relay network.
okay, so like suppose on some relayers, if there are a bunch of relayers, there is some kind of threshold there for the account balance. So when that threshold is triggered, so you basically send more ETH to that account.
Yeah.
Or either like and when the number of users or the number of transactions on a particular server increases, then you basically just create another relayers and fund those accounts.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I think if there are no other questions, probably can wrap up, and then we can take up further questions on the Discord too.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
Right. Thanks, thanks Sachin, thanks Divya.
Thank you.